Well, the first time I was ever arrested legitimately, legitimately, it wasn't like for doing anything serious. I mean, it wasn't. It's the first time I wasn't up in court for grievous bodily harm or breaking and entering. I mean, I'm ashamed to say it. I was arrested in a CND demonstration. There I was. Everybody was doing it in London. You saw it on the TV and the news. So I organised this big demonstration. We marched around the City Hall. We marched up the Dublin Road. And we went round Shaftesbury Square and we marched down Great Victoria Street again. And just outside the AB cinema, I thought, this is getting pretty boring, all this marching, I want revolution, I want, something exciting to happen in my life. So there was this big red bus coming, so I jumped up with my poster in front of it saying, I want to grow up, not blow up. I mean, I was only 17 at the time. I wasn't as old as I am now. So I jumped out in front of this bus and the bus hit me and went boom! My poster went all over the ground. So the cops arrested me for civil disobedience. It wasn't my fault that the driver was blind. So they dragged me around the Queen Street police station and took all my particulars. And by that time, a whole lot of other people had got the idea and everybody started sitting down the road. And as soon as they released us, we went out back there and sat again. And Paul Murphy was playing guitar and the cops stole his guitar and all. And he was singing, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like and all that bit. We're all doing our protest bit. It was young and we're in the 60s and it was like just getting the flower power and psychedelia and a lot of good drugs. And so came to the point where I was to appear in court and I spent 3 nights writing my political speech. Started off, I believe in the fight for the abolishment of nuclear weapons and the preservation of humanity and an end to the war of aggression on the men, women and children in Vietnam. And don't try to tell me that the British government is not involved because the Geneva Agreements of 1954 clearly state that Vietnam should be divided in two at the 19th parallel and all that bullshit, like the revolution was here and I was going to protest and go to jail and go on hunger strike and all long before these fucking IRA cunts ever were on the scene. So, there I am, and I go down to court. We're all going to meet there, and we're all going to refuse to pay our fines, and we're all going to go to jail, and we're all going to make our political speeches, and we're all going to get 2 inches in the Belfast Telegraph, and we're all going to be happy. Because we're young and naive, and that was before a lot of good dope arrived on the scene. So there I go, and I go to the court I always went to. When I was up for grievous bodily harm, and when I was up for breaking and entering, and when my minister used to represent me and my probation officer and the VB and everybody, and the judge shouted at all of them, and I never took no notice of him when he shouted at me. I just thought he was an old asshole. And I still went out and broke and entered and did fucking people a lot of damage. But here I am, a changed man, and I go to court, and I'm sitting there. And I thought, yeah, just like the rest of them. A political protest, none of them have turned up to court even. And this is a political protest that they're making. But I'm still going to get up there and read my speech. After all, I spent 3 nights up writing a bloody speech. So, I'm sitting there and I'm going to be called next. And all these guys. And there was a guy down the street that I knew. And I waved to him and all, and he was a bit embarrassed and a bit shy and all. I said, what about you? You all right? About you? So eventually we went back. Then this big policeman came over and he tapped me on the shoulder. He says to me, son, don't tell me you're married. I says, this fucking copper, he's fucking mad, I says to him, think I'm fucking stupid or something, be married? I says, I'm here on a political protest. I got arrested against the war in Vietnam. And the British government are involved because they clearly stated that the 19th and the parallel blah, 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 and the 54 Geneva Agreements and all that. And I was doing my bit. And the cop says to me, have you got sixpence on you? I want to use the phone. That's in the old days. Old sixpence or something. And I think it was a shilling. No, Jesus, decimal coinage is fucking my head up something. I still can't get used to it. No, it was a shilling. I think you'd call it a 5p nowadays. Well, and he says to me, son, you're fucking crazy. You're sitting in the maintenance court. And I says, I don't care what court I'm sitting in. I'm going to make my fucking protest heard. And all these guys are laughing at me. And then he explained to me, when you're married, and you desert your wife and you don't give her no readies, or you don't give her anything at all, you pay maintenance. So you give her money so that some other guy's screwing her. I can't fucking figure it out myself, but I thought the protest was better than that. So there I am, and I'm trying to explain this all to me. And eventually sinks through, and I thought I fucking made a fool of myself. And I says to him, so I handed him a few leaflets, and I says to him, I love you, brothers, and I want you to come in this demonstration outside the City Hall on Sunday. In fact, there's only 2 of us allowed, because it's August the 6th. Oh, of course you all know what August the 6th is. It's in remembrance of Hiroshima, right? And it banned all fucking demonstrations because of all these fucking Paisleyites fucking going down and rioting in the markets. I mean, they get their fucking heads beat in to go down there. Hookie Nolan, all the boys that fucking kick their shit in. But they have no sense. They go down and throw Bibles at them, and they're throwing fucking rocks at them, and like, the Bibles aren't hitting anybody, and the rocks are... Oh, well, that's another story. I'll tell you about that sometime. Well, anyway, there I am thinking, I just blew that one. Well, I've fucking invited them all to Sunday demonstration. I go down, and there I am, and there's everybody there. Their mums and their dads paid their fines and all, and there I am. And somebody said to me, you've been fined £25, and Valerie's just paid it. Was I raging? 3 nights up writing my political speech. I mean, I was fucking raging. So you know what I did? Went out one night and I climbed into Palace Barracks down Hollywood. You know where all those gay soldiers are? Well, these are fucking like a lot of pansies, and we sneaked in. And we painted all these peace in Vietnam signs all over Palace Barracks, and we fucking all over their trucks and everything, even over their wee miniature golf course. And we got out. And guess what? I just bought a new pair of house puppies that day, and it fucking spilt all this red paint over them. They were fucking useless. So I had to go home in them, and we fucking hitchhiked back